This video is with regard to the environmental approval system OneStop, and the purpose of the video is to take a look at the quick reference guides. This video will focus on the Initiate New Water Act application Wetland Disturbance quick reference guide. To find the guides, click on the following link or scroll down the page. This will provide you with an outline of the quick reference guides, as well as a table associated with the application purposes, example activities, and the quick reference guides that you will use to submit an application under the Water Act. The Wetland Disturbance Guide is any activity in a wetland that is not already covered in the codes of practice under the Water Act. And the quick reference guides that you'd use to submit the application are the General Application Guide and the Wetland Disturbance Guide. These guides are found below the table, as well as the Import Digital Spatial Data into OneStop guide, which we'll use later in the video. To get access to the system, you can take a look at Getting Started instructional video, as well as the information on how to access EAS OneStop and creating an account and logging onto the system, which are also covered in the video. Clicking on the following link will provide you with this page, and you will enter in your appropriate information from your account, either from a My Alberta Digital ID or a My Alberta Digital ID for Business. Today, we're going to be working in the user acceptance testing site, so please don't submit an application into the site as it will not be reviewed for an official decision. Other information that is important outside of the environmental approval system OneStop is the Water Codes of Practice page, which includes the Water Act Codes of Practice, which you can review associated with activities within a wetland that would not be submitted into this process. The other page is the Alberta Wetland Policy Implementation page, which outlines your wetland application checklist, as well as the wetland policy requirements under each one of these tabs. We're starting at the water body portion of the environmental approval system OneStop application system, because we've already covered under the general application, authorization, general application, and water body information in the Initiate New Water Act general application guide. So that was covered in that guidance document as well as within that video. The impacted water body for a wetland is assumed to be a wetland, so it's you do not need to complete this information. The additional information portion is covered under this new, or the focused guide, which is the Wetland Disturbance Guide. The first question will ask, what type of wetland disturbance is it? Is it covered under the Wetland Assessment Impact Form, or does it require a Wetland Assessment Impact Report? I'm going to select the following as an example. The shapefile that you need to submit is the shapefile from your delineated wetland that was submitted to the wetland group. You're importing the spatial data into OneStop, and you'll need to modify the file at this point in time for particular attributes need to be added to the tables for your wetland application, and you need to take a look at how to name the file, which is included on the last page of this document. So I'm going to attach my delineated wetland. And this is important that you use this file because it needs to match the information from your delineated wetland in this application. The two of them need to match. So I'm going to upload the shapefile. I'm going to submit the shapefile, and then I can take a look at additional questions. This is going to process and provide me with information in the table below once it is complete. So you can take a look at the ownership tooltip, the guide for assessing permanence of wetland basins. That guidance document is found in our Open Alberta publications, where you can take a look at ownership of water bodies within the province under the Public Lands Act. The shapefile has been submitted. Now I can submit the following information if it's required. So if I click on yes, I need to attach that ownership decision document from the department, which comes from Water Boundaries. And then I need to attach my ABRET D values. Provide the Wetland Assessment Impact Form date of when it was completed. Attach the WAIF document. Provide the authenticating professional by clicking on Add a Row. And providing the professional designation of that person. Now, the information from the shapefiles, some of the information has been completed in here. So now we need to provide the appropriate information into the system. The aberrant D value, the temporarily impacted area in hectares. So you don't need to provide a shapefile associated with this. At this point in time, it's only the total wetland area that is submitted in the shapefile. The wetland loss area in hectares. And then if you have multiple wetlands, it will do the calculation down here and sum everything together. Providing a wetland loss area will open up 2 additional requirements, whether it's a wetland replacement and or a permittee responsible replacement. And all of that information is covered in under the Alberta Wetland Policy Implementation page. So I need to complete the following information in this box. Attach the wetland reclamation proposal. Choose either one or both in the replacement proposal. Then information is populated in the following table as well. So we need to take a look at the replacement area, the replacement rate, and the replacement cost should come out to about $7,640. So again, if there's additional wetlands that are in here, it will sum the total replacement cost of all of the wetland information that you've entered. The construction start date comes from the first page that was covered under the Initiate New Water Act Application General Application Guide. Then you need to enter in the construction start date, or sorry, the construction end date. And the estimated reclamation start date. Then enter in the information associated with when the wetland will be impacted during construction. The information will be reviewed for validation, any validations where data is required or documents that need to be submitted. This was covered under the general application guidance document as well as the video. So to view any of the validation errors, then what you do is you click on a button over here on the right hand side, which is covered in that video, and that will take you directly to where there's validation issues. We're going to click on next, and then we're going to take a look at the disclaimer. So you can take a look at the application disclaimer associated with the online system, collection of personal information under the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act, as well as requesting confidentiality under the Water Ministerial Regulation. If there's any trade secrets or any other things that need to be kept confidential. You'll have to submit that with this application, so you can click on I disagree and then attach under either activity description or supporting information. Once you come back, you can click on I agree and save and submit the application. Once you've saved and submitted the application, you cannot change any of the data. It is all locked down in the application. So that is specified in this warning. And if you've made an error associated with data in it, then you'll have to request to withdraw the application, and that is the director that completes that process. If there is information that we're requesting through a report, there is the possibility that you don't have to submit that withdrawal request. So I'm going to click on yes. And this will take me back to my home page. It provides me with the application number, and the application number is also provided here on the left-hand side. It will process the application, bring me back to my home page, and then if I have to look at the application again, I can click on the following link. Once a lead reviewer is assigned, that information will be provided here over on the right-hand side, including the email address. We can view this application. We can take a look at what we've submitted. Noting that we cannot change any of the data. The data has been locked down. We can download the documents, but we cannot click and change the information in the application. I hope that helps. If you have any questions about the Water Act, about issues associated with the system and submitting an application, you need to contact your lead reviewer and what hasn't been provided yet, you can click on the contact information listed here. And for technical support, business support, like I was saying, you can submit to the following email address. For assistance with My Alberta Digital ID or My Alberta Digital ID for Business, which is covered by Service Alberta, you can submit to the following email address or contact using this phone number. Again, I hope this helped, and I hope you're having a good day.